Hello and welcome to ET Now. I have with me PTC India MD, Mr. Rajiv Mishra. Hello and welcome to ET Now, sir.
Thank you, Meghna, and welcome to PTC India office. And I must say hello and good morning to all the viewers of ET Now.
I'll start with asking you about, in the power sector especially, now the number of reforms that we are seeing that the government is aiming for, especially the electricity amendment bill. How do you think it will bring about a change to impact the power sector?
Meghna, let me tell you, for the first time I can tell you there are so many reforms which are what should I say, for the betterment of the power sector. To start with, the most important and most discussed is the electricity amendment, which will allow the carriage and content. But before that, there are some of the major steps which the government has taken recently, which is going to change the dimension of the market and the market design per se. And it is for the betterment of the sector, that the sector which was suffering from the major non-payment of dues by the DISCOMs. For the first time, we are seeing that the serious efforts have been made so that the DISCOM starts paying, and the difficulties which we were facing in the past has been addressed through the regulations. Of course, if you ask me, there was some of the time during April, May and June when the prices were high and we were discussing about how things will be from here on. But if you see the current prices, the market is back to normal, things are normal, and the regulations are really helping the market to stabilize. So I'll say that this year was bringing in a lot of regulations which are helpful for creating a new market design, and where the reforms will really take shape. And this sector, which was always treated as something which was always discussed for the DISCOM losses, the non-realization of payment, I think for the first time we are seeing that the DISCOMs are trying to make payments, and we are getting payment well in time.
I wanted to ask you about the DISCOM's health that you just mentioned. Can it pose any kind of serious challenge to the entire power sector? Because the government is trying for the resolution, but still the debt that is mounting, it's still huge.
Meghna, you know, it's a concurrent subject. The policies are being made at the central level and it is getting implemented at the state level as far as the procurement of power is concerned, consumption of the power and distribution of the power is concerned. But for the first time we are seeing that the serious efforts have been made both at the central level and most of the states. They are trying to comply, because at the end of the day, whatever good intentions you have when you are creating a good regulation or the policy, it has to be implemented on ground. And the regulations and the policies are being implemented at the state level. So mounting outstandings of 1,32,000 crore in the month of June, what we were discussing, and after implementation of the LPS scheme, things are much better. And out of 13 defaulter list which was discussed in the national TVs, only one is there, and that too one of the DISCOMs out of the 4 DISCOMs it has. So I can clearly say that the DISCOMs are seriously not trying to come into that list which the Prapti is declaring every day. So very important development in recent times.
On the power trading market, what is your view in terms of volumes and prices in the near term?
I'll not go predictive, but we have a scientific tool to analyze what is the way, how the demand is, how the fuel sources and other parameters are, and how things are going to shape up in the near future. The most important thing which I can tell you, that we have always said that the aberrations in the market will always be there, but it will stabilize to a price where the prices has to be somewhere in the range of the generation cost. And in the month of May, June, when suddenly so many factors impacted the power and the prices have gone up to 20, 12, the numbers, we always said that the market will see reasonability and will come to a band. So we are in the festive season, and in spite of that, the prices are in the range which we always like it to be, that is around 350 to 4 rupees RTC prices. So there we are, and here on I feel that during the month of winter, when the northern Indian demands will come down further, there is a good reason that the price will again traverse in the reasonable range. Of course, the imported coal prices are high, the energy cost globally is high, geopolitical reasons are there. I'm not ruling out any of them, but I can talk about the Indian market, and I can safely say that if we cross the month of October, when there are festival seasons, and if we continue to be in this band, I think winter months will be somewhat in the range which we have always expected, near to the cost of the generation.
If I can shift the focus to renewable energy, now we know that the government has been focusing big time on the renewable energy. What are your plans in this sector, and in terms of your portfolio, is there any shift towards renewable energy that we may see?
Meghna, if you see globally, not only in India of course we are focusing more on renewable these days, and in real terms the capacity addition is coming only from the renewables. But let me make it very simple, that renewable itself is not good enough for supplying the power 24/7. You have to make a good balance, and we have sufficient thermal at this point of time, but I am saying that we need to keep a balance. If you are asking me about my portfolio of renewable, yes, I am for renewable, and we are seriously looking into that. To tell the audience and you, the first inter-regional wind sale was done by PTC, which was 1050 megawatt of aggregation, and they're selling to different states. Then we have done a lot of other activities in the GDAM market. We were the first to participate in those contracts. At this point of time, we feel that you need to get the attributes and the electrons separated from the renewable energy generation. You need to understand the market and the demand of the real customer, where from it is coming. If the customer is saying that I need 24/7 supply, you need blending. If they say that I need renewable attributes, that is the RECs, you need to supply that. Being a trader, I can do that right now. The regulation allows that. So all these things we have to handle it in a way such that the end consumer or customer should get what they really want, rather than trying to feed what we have. And PTC is always known for innovative solutions meant for the customers, and that's exactly our plans are.
But do you have any plan for short term, that how much of renewable energy are you looking at purchasing, and are there any bids that you will be inviting?
We have invited an EOI, that is expression of interest, to first of all gauge the market from seller side, and then of course we are in continuous dialogue with all our consumers, both commercial and industrial consumers and the DISCOMs, to understand their requirements, so that this 1000 megawatt, if works out, it can scale up to any level. Maybe we have a plan of in 3 to 5 years to go up to 5000 megawatt in our portfolio, which can do it either on a bilateral basis or through exchanges, or dividing it into two parts, that is the electrons and the attributes, and selling it the way customer really wants it.
Okay. You have already tied up earlier with SJVN, NHPC. Are you looking at more partners to tie up with to supply power maybe in the northern region?
I mean, if you understand the model of PTC, the way we operate, we always believe in collaborations and partnering and aggregating the power for the final sale to the customers. In these cases, I mean, if you say, we have already tied up with all the major generators except some of the leading ones like Adani, Tata. They have their own trading companies and they do it of their own. But others we have aggregated in our portfolio for thermal, and we have started doing it for renewable as well. For hydro, if you just try to find out, I mean, some of the major hydro in the country, like Karchamwang 2, the entire power is being sold through PTC. Tista Urja, the power is being sold through PTC. So we have done it in past and we have done it successfully. Now the question is, if major companies like SJVN and NHPC, they are coming up with their plans in Nepal and they would like to sell it in India, I think they need a credible partner who can do this for them. And that's the way we have started this. We are open for dialogue with any of the generator, and let me tell you, the kind of credence we have in the last 22 years, we are capable of not only handling those powers in India, but also across the border. And that's exactly what our plans are.
Since you mentioned Nepal, I wanted to ask you, what is the update on setting up a power trading company in Nepal?
Meghna, I mean, we have to go by what the development of our neighboring countries are. Unlike India, where we have a full-fledged regulatory commission operating for the last so many years, and we are getting a very clear cross-border electricity trade guidelines and policies, our neighboring countries are still to frame those. And there we have to see our development. I'm not saying that we are not contemplating all these things. We are contemplating, we are seriously trying to do it, but we are also eagerly trying to see what the regulatory developments are. Unless there is a regulatory say provisions of a trading company in Nepal, we can't think of establishing it. But at the same time, I mean, what I just mentioned, that we have an MOU with SJVN and NHPC for selling it in India. Of course, we would like to have that kind of a credible setup in Nepal, which can do power trading in India with all the constituents what we have rendered in the past, or we can explore other options as well.
Yeah, so because there is this buzz and speculation in the market that you might be looking at setting up a joint venture company in Nepal, even a local Nepal company might be roped in for that. So are you seeing that fructifying in the near term, or you think you'll have to wait more?
I mean, again, we are in a trading business for the last 23 years. We understand the dynamics of these markets very well, and we have to understand the dynamics of the country we are trying to operate, and we have to see the local conditions when we operate on those markets. As far as Nepal is concerned, we have done business with them for the last so many years. We understand it, but having a company in Nepal with our own subsidiary company or as a partner, we have to keep on a close watch on the developments, what the regulatory developments are, and then we will be in a position to share with you and with our audience.
Can you tell us what are the plans on expanding your volumes on cross-border trading?
Meghna, this is a focus area for us. That's one area where we have done good in the past. 1/10 of the volume, although in volume terms today it may not sound so attractive, but 1/10 of the volume of PTC do come from the cross-border trade. Now, we feel that now the emphasis on the cross-border trade has increased with the energy market coming up as a vibrant market in this region. We feel that PTC has to play a major role, because we have played this role in India, because we were the first trading company. We started way back in 2000, and today we have successfully operated for 23 years. We know that what is the catalytic role a trading company has to play if you really want to develop a market, because you need to create innovative environment so that there has to be an incremental shift. And there we feel that not only in India but also in the cross-border countries, we have to play a major role. And I feel that down the line, cross-border will play a major role.
But are you looking at increasing those volumes from right now? You were saying that it is 1/10 of your total volumes. Are you looking at increasing that?
Yes, of course, because the point is, when we are doing trading, it's not only importing power. There will be chances, because let me tell you why I am saying this. All these countries, what we are discussing, Nepal, may be having surplus power during the wet months, but they require power during the winter months when they don't have water. So the same country which will be exporting power during some months will be importing power during the winter months. So similar kind of situation will be there for Bangladesh and other neighboring countries. We are trying to keep a very close watch on the demand supply requirement of all these countries. we will make our plans so that we can cater to this market and can get the benefit for both the sides.
There is a proposal for high price market segment, the HP dam that we say. Do you think that PTC will have an important role to play in it, and then you can go ahead and make profits out of it? Do you think it will be justifiable for the market?
Being the high price day ahead market was something which was the requirement of the market for some period of time. I'm saying that such innovative product has to be there in the market to cater to the need of the customer. If you ask me whether we are going to use it, of course. PTC, for that matter, has used all the products available in the market for the benefit of both the sellers and the buyers in the market. Now, if you ask me today, the prices does not allow this high price day ahead market to operate, because I told you the band is around 350 to 4 right now. This was more relevant when the prices were very high. But of course, I mean, if again this similar kind of situation is there and the product is available in the market, PTC would like to aggregate such kind of a generators, try to get the buyers. We can do it on an OTC basis, or we can do it through exchange basis also. So having a product in your portfolio or in the market is always advantageous. But if you ask me the relevance today, no, it's not a product which will be sellable at this point of time.
Okay. Can you give us an idea from your current portfolio, whatever is your share of the thermal energy, the renewable and the cross-border trade? What is it? Is there any change in your portfolio that you are looking going ahead?
Meghna, if I gave you a glimpse of the cross-border volume. Similarly, hydro is around 40% of the volume for our long-term and medium-term business, which is very significant compared to the overall country's 11%. So we are predominantly operating on one of the source which is very dear to the customer. So it's around 40% of the volume which comes from the hydro. Thermal is almost in the similar line, around 40 to 50%, 40 to 45%, and renewable at this point of time is less, but at the same time that is a focus area. And you have seen that we are interested in bringing out new expression of interest, trying to make a product which is required for the customer, because a lot of things we have done a lot of analytics on how the renewable is being supplied, how prices are getting affected, and what is the actual thing which you need to deliver to the market.
But can you give us an idea? Are you looking at increasing that share of the renewable, and to how much in the near term?
I gave you a number which is 1000 megawatt. We have already given the expression of interest, and we will see how we will just cater to the market once we get all the prices and all. But down the line, we have a plan somewhere around 5000 megawatt in 3 years. If we see that this is the market we have to keep a focus on.
Last financial year, if I talk about PTC India, the trading volumes, I think they were very good. They were at a record high or something. How is the quarter second that's just gone by looking, and quarter three, what is your outlook?
Meghna, I mean, last year, if you see the volume growing and the components of the segments from where we got this volume, last year was a COVID year, and year before that was again a COVID year, where the demand has subdued, but at the same time the exchange prices have gone low to the extent of 2 rupees to 2 rupee 50 paisa many a times. So discoms were more keen to buy it on exchanges, and as the exchange volume has gone up, so is the PTC volume also in that segment, and almost 59% of the volume what we traded, 87.5 billion unit, was from the exchange volume what we contribute to the exchanges. This year, of course, we have seen a shift for the reason that the exchange prices are continuously high, and in the month of April, May, June, beyond that also it is more than 7. So it is not prudent on part of any procurer to go and do the procurement of electricity from the exchanges if they have a PPA which is much lower, and the average power procurement cost of the country is below 4 rupee 50 paisa, around that. And if you have to procure power at more than 7, of course you need to have the sufficient reasons and justifications why you are doing it. So keeping that in mind, I can tell you that the exchange volume may be a bit lower this 2 quarters, but overall we are finding it's a business as usual.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. It was a great discussion.
Thank you.